Tom Henry.
Andy Avila. I'm Brian Demas.
As we follow the guys over at Fire Station 8, we learn that helping those affected by fires aren't the only people firefighters aim to serve. Mike Watkiss is serving us live with that story tonight over at Fire Station 8. Mike?
Yeah, Patty, we know these guys fight fires. They do technical rescues. They provide emergency medical care, but there's a lot more to this job. And this evening, the gentle touch and the smiling face.
Popping a rescue on us already, huh?
There are certainly moments in the lives of most firefighters when grandiose and dramatic displays of courage are the order of the day. But really, more often than not, it is a tender touch and a compassionate heart that are a firefighter's stock and trade.
James, you understand why we need to take you to the hospital, don't you? We can't let you stay like this, okay? Because you weren't getting any better treating yourself.
And last night, for the boys of the 8-Ball, in some of the most forlorn and forgotten corners of the valley, it was not a matter of fighting flames, but instead a time for care and concern. The first call, a 77-year-old asthmatic man, unable to breathe, scared, and all alone.
We've already got an IV in you. We need to go to the hospital. All right. Take a little bit of time. 92, sugar. We have to walk over to this gray over here for us. Ready? James.
Captain Tom Henry and his men, Dave Morrissey, Andy Avila, Bobby Dubno, Joaquin Torres, and Greg Neal have been to this home before. The elderly man is obviously in precarious shape and needs to go to the hospital. But he's reluctant, fearful to leave his home, fearful to leave the lights on, and fearful that no one will lock up after him.
Lock that one there. Hey, see, do you want me to lock the bottom one or leave the bottom alone? Turn the knob on the back of it? I can do that. And turn all the lights off, right? Okay, I'll do that.
The frightened man then loaded onto the 8-Ball's ambulance and promptly transported to County Hospital. His medical emergency very legitimate, but the crew tells us they are often called out, frequently in the middle of the night, by lonely people in need only of a little human contact. One woman, a so-called frequent flyer, immediately comes to mind.
Because they looked up the fire department records and the fire department had responded on her like 223 times in the past 18 months.
It's just somebody crying out for listening.
She just wanted somebody to come and spend time with her. And even if it was, you know, a relatively negative interaction, it was still somebody, you know, that she got to talk to or scream at or argue with or whatever.
And one of the seemingly whatever calls comes next. A 58-year-old man living alone in some sort of transitional housing complex says he's suffering chest pains. But when the boys arrive, the man is not very communicative and not very cooperative.
You know, I want you to try and describe your pain to me again. What's it feel like?
It feels like hurt. That's what it feels like.
Is it sharp or dull?
I don't even know what sharp means or dull means.
After some on-the-scene treatment, this man, too, is loaded onto the ambulance and taken to County Hospital. But once inside, the man says he's no longer in pain.
He says, you know, I feel all better now. You are healed.
I know you guys get paid to do this, but it's got to be frustrating in the middle of the night to come out on something like this.
No. You know.
You're a diplomat.
Yeah. It's the way you look at things.
And on the way back to the station, this perspective from a weary vet.
We did good for him. You know, he was sick when we got there, and he was better by the time we got him to the hospital. So we did a good job. You know, so we take satisfaction in the fact that we did our jobs well and, you know, move on to the next call.
You come back to us live and you know that next call just a heartbeat away. It was a very long, hard shift last night. Patty, the boys from C Shift have today off, but we'll be back tomorrow and get better acquainted with the two young studs of C Shift, Joaquin Torres and Brian Demas. Interesting young fellas. We'll check back with you tomorrow.
Very good. Thank you very much for that, Mike.